is Pythagoras, right-angled triangles, trigonometry. We'll start here. For this question, you have to find this length. This length is the hypotenuse because it's opposite of the right angle. The formula for this is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. These sides are a squared and b squared, and this side is always c squared. The hypotenuse is always c squared. So you would have to type in your calculator or write down in your book 4 squared plus 3 squared equals your answer. Okay, and you have to square root the answer. So just write it like this in the calculator because it's so much easier. Your answer would be 5. So x is 5. Next question. This time you're not finding the hypotenuse, you're finding another length. But you are given all other lengths. So for this, a squared plus. For this, you are given 7 squared, but you're not given x squared, and you're given 12 squared. So you have to find this, and so you have to take 7 to the other side, which would result in putting this into your calculator. Just like this. Here you would result in 9.74679. However, in IB you have to have 3 significant figures. So it would be 7.5. And now we'll move on to the trigonometry part. Okay, so first you need to know how to label your triangle. Okay, so first you label the hypotenuse. You don't have to do it first, but like preferably. And then for the other lengths, you have to see which one is close to the angle. In this case, it's this side. And this is called adjacent because it's adjacent to the angle. Adjacent means close. And then there's opposite because it's opposite to the angle. It's not next to the angle. And yes. And these are the rules for finding length and degrees. It's the sine, cos, tan rules. So in this case, in this question, to figure out what you have to use, you have to see what you're given. You are given the hypotenuse and you are given the adjacent. So you're given these 2 letters and you have to see where they belong. Like what formula has these 2, A and H? It's cos formula. Because it's, adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So what you would have to do is you have to write cos. This is how you have to format it. 53, because that's the angle. 53, okay, equals 4 over x. Now this is the tricky part. Whenever you're given an equation like this, you cannot put it in the calculator. You have to inverse it to get your x. If x is the denominator, you have to divide this by 4. 4 divided by cos 53. And then your answer would be 6.65. In this question, you are given the hypotenuse and you're given the opposite. Hypotenuse and opposite, you have to use the sine formula, yes. Anyways, so that would be sine, the angle that you're given, 42, equals x over 6. This time, the x is the numerator, and so you have to multiply 6 by 42, sine 42. So 6 times sine 42. This gives you 4.01. Okay, so you always have to remember, if x is the denominator, you have to divide. Denominator, divide. If x is the numerator, you have to multiply. Get it? Okay. Here, you are not given the hypotenuse, but you're given the opposite angles. You are given the opposite of the angle and the adjacent. Opposite, adjacent, you have to use the tan formula. Tan 36 equals opposite 9 over x. So x is the denominator, you have to divide 9 by tan 36. Answer is 12.4. 12.4, just like that. This is how you find your sides. Now moving on to finding degrees. Now to find the degrees, this is what you will be doing. Again, you have to see what you're given. You are given the hypotenuse and you're given the adjacent. Hypotenuse, adjacent, cos. So your formula would be cos something, cos theta, x equals 14 over 23. Again, you cannot put this into your calculator just like this. What you have to put inside the calculator is cos minus 1, inverse cos, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, inverse cos. Okay, and then 14 over 23. Your answer will be 52.5. This is what you put inside the calculator. This question, you are given opposite and adjacent, so you're using tan. Tan theta is equal to 22 over 18. So again, in your calculator, you have to put tan inverse 22 over 18. Your answer will be 50.7. Just like this, again. Okay, last question. You are given hypotenuse, you are given opposite. So this would be sine. Sine theta equals 7 over 15. Okay. Again, sine inverse 7 over 15. Your answer is 27.8. Now you have learned how to do Pythagoras formula, how to find sides, and how to find degrees.